Hello and welcome to a brand new video. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. So yes, as by today's title and thumbnail, we are back with another Premier League prediction. That is right. Today I'm predicting Premier League Game Week 5. That is right. So this is where this series is all about, where I go through each side, each matchup, and then I give my prediction at the end of that conversation. So like to the video guys, hit the like button, subscribe if not already, and without further ado, we are 5 games into the Premier League season and oh boy, it's getting spicy. In my last prediction video I got 2 correct scores, so in the first 5 game weeks I have got 7, that is right, 7 correct scores. You know what, I'm pretty happy with that. Kicking us off on game week 5, it is West Ham versus Chelsea. West Ham drew 1-1 to Fulham. They scored late on in the game to get that result. Okay, so yeah, they do sit in 14th place on 4 points. So not particularly great start to West Ham, but like I said to you a few weeks ago, they've signed all these big, all these new players. They need to get that teamwork going. So as soon as they do that, they will get their season underway. They're up against Chelsea, who beat Bournemouth 1-0. A fairly decent result. Going into that game, Bournemouth were undefeated. So to go into that game and beat Bournemouth was a very good result. Chelsea actually sit in 7th place, so they've had an okay season. So that is all you can say about that. But I just don't like Chelsea, okay? That is me being harsh. This is a London derby, West Ham and Chelsea, so that is why I've got a West Ham win. I've got West Ham, guys, to beat Chelsea 2-1. Next up we have Aston Villa versus Wolves. That is right, man. Villa were 2-0 down, okay, against Everton, and just like last week for Everton, they conceded 3 goals to lose 3-2. That is right, guys. Villa beat Everton 3-2. Fantastic comeback, and they now sit in 5th place. They have won 2 on the bounce, and Villa are looking good. They won yesterday against Young Boys in the Champions League, okay, 3-0. So their confidence boost, their confidence right now is super high. Ollie Watkins again is scoring goals, and that is vital for them also. Wolves on the other hand lost 2-1 to Newcastle. They remain in the bottom 3 on only 1 point. Okay, so yeah, it's been a difficult start to the season for Wolves. I thought they might have a good season this year, but going by their performances recently, they have just not been good. Okay, and again, that's come down to the fact they've lost all their key players. And you know what? I think Wolves will be okay this year, but they can't keep losing games. The way Villa are right now, I just can't see Villa losing this game. So that's why I've got Villa, guys, to beat Wolves 2-0. Next we have Fulham versus Newcastle. That is right, guys. Fulham drew 1-0 to West Ham last week, okay? But because of that result, they are now 3 games unbeaten. They've played 3, won 1 and drew 2 in their last 3 games. So you know what? Fulham don't look too bad, but they did lose yesterday to Preston and penalties in the cup. So yeah, bad loss for them. But like I said, the league, guys, it's a completely different ball game. When it's the Premier League, teams play so much better. So Fulham will be fine. But they're up against Newcastle, okay, who are also unbeaten. They have played 4, won 3 and drew 1. They sit in 3rd place. So you know what? Newcastle have had a fantastic start to the season, okay, and they'll just keep getting better now. Harvey Barnes might have scored the goal of the season already. What a finish, by the way. I say Harvey Barnes always starts on the bench, but personally he should be starting, because when he's full of confidence, Harvey Barnes is a fantastic footballer, okay, and you know what? If they start him as well, and with Anthony Gordon on the other side, they'll have a cracking wing attack. Because Fulham are undefeated in 3 games and Newcastle are undefeated in the whole season so far, I've got this game, guys, to actually end as a draw. That is why I've got this game to end as a 1-1 draw. Next up, we have Leicester versus Everton. That is right, guys. My boys Leicester threw away a 2-0 lead against Crystal Palace to draw 2-2. Okay, listen, I would take a point against Palace any day, but the fact they were 2-0 up, they sort of sat back on that lead and just tried to defend. And when you defend too long, it does come back to bite you. So that is why they drew 2-2. Cooper got the tactics wrong. Personally, Steve Cooper did get the tactics wrong, okay. Vardy again is on the score sheet. 37 years old, and that goal he scored against Palace, he beat a 24-year-old Mark Gay to the ball. So Vardy still had that sheer pace, but 1 yard sort of thing. But yeah, you know what? Leicester should be okay this year. They've got 2 points on the board already in 4 games, so not too bad at all, okay. They're up against Everton, who have lost all their games and they've got no points on the board, okay. And they've 2 weeks running now where they've been 2-0 up and they've lost 3-2. So Sean Dyche is in serious trouble. They also lost to Southampton in the cup yesterday as well. So I don't know, man. Sean Dyche could become the first manager to be sacked in the Premier League season this year. So yeah, so Everton sit bottom, -9 goal difference. Not a great start to the season for Everton. But just on that, I got my boys Leicester to beat Everton 2-0. Next up, we have Liverpool versus Bournemouth. That is right, Liverpool with a shock defeat to Nottingham Forest. That is right, man. That is Aaron Slot's first defeat in a Liverpool manager job. So you know what? So I'm sure Aaron Slot and the lads will want to call that a day and move on, forget that result and start again against Bournemouth. Bournemouth also lost 1-0 to Chelsea, okay, and that is their unbeaten start to the season ended. But you know what though, Bournemouth can be proud because they've had a fantastic start. In the first 4 games they've got 5 points, so you know what, Bournemouth can be super happy about that. But I think Liverpool, guys, will bounce back this week. That is why I got Liverpool to beat Bournemouth 1-0. Next up is Southampton versus Ipswich Town. That is right, these are the games to expect to be the best games of the weekend, okay. So these 2 sides, I'll say it now, these 2 sides are fighting for Premier League survival this year, okay. So yeah, so these are the games that get excited the most because obviously there's so much on the line here, okay. So Southampton lost 3-0 to Man United, another poor result. I know it's against Man United, but it's still a poor result because Man United, you know, Man United aren't the same Man United they've been in the last decade. So losing 3-0 to Man United is a big loss, okay, and they still sit bottom of the table. Just like Everton, they have no points on the board, so Southampton need this more than Ipswich Town, okay. So Ipswich Town drew to Brighton, okay. Fantastic result for Ipswich right there. They have now drew 2 on the bounce, okay, and that puts them on 2 points just above relegation zone. So you know what, Ipswich can be quite happy with that. Two draws from the last 2 games, and you know what, Ipswich, man, they do have a good side. So yeah, so what I noticed about Ipswich last season in the Championship is they never give up, and that is what Ipswich do. So that could really help them going in to these sort of massive games. So just on that, I do have this game to be a very exciting draw. That is right, guys. I've got this game to end as a 2-2 draw. Next up, we have Tottenham Hotspur versus Brentford. That is right, Tottenham have lost 2 games on the bounce. They recently lost to their London derby match against Arsenal. They lost 1-0 to Arsenal. You know what, not a bad result, but they have only got 4 points on the board, and Spurs are just Spurs, man. They have literally so bang average. It's unreal how bang average they are, okay. They got a good side this year, but they're just, like I say, just bang average. That is what I can say about them. They're up against Brentford, guys, who lost 2-1 to Man City. You know what, not a bad result. Yes, I know they lost, but against the best team in the UK, Man City. So for a 2-1 loss, not bad at all from Brentford. Brentford do sit higher than Spurs, actually. They sit on 5 points. So technically, Brentford have had a better season than the Big Six, Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs even in the top 6? I don't think they are. So again, I've got this game to beat another draw. That is why I've got this game, guys, to end as a 1-1 draw. Next up, we have Crystal Palace versus Man United. That is right, Palace came back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 with Leicester City. Okay, Arteta got a very controversial goal. That is right, guys. If you watched the match against Leicester, do you think Arteta was offside? So controversial, okay, and yeah. But anyway, I'm not bitter, but it's crazy. But anyway, so yeah, so Arteta with back with a bang on 2 goals. He has got 2 goals to his name this Premier League season. He could become vital for them this year if he keeps scoring goals. I watched Eddie Nketiah against Leicester as well. He looked a handful. So they keep them 2 fit. They've got a great strike force right there. So they've got another point on the board. We'll come back from Palace, to be fair. Up against Man United, who beat Southampton 3-0. Rashford on the score sheet, and trust me, Rashford is a confidence player, okay? So when Rashford's not scoring goals, he looks quite poor and bang average, okay? So, but when Rashford's full of confidence, he does bang in the goal. So now he's scored a few goals. He scored 2 goals against Barnsley last night. So now he's been scoring goals. That could really push on his season this year. I do have Man United to beat Palace. That's right, I've got Man United to beat Palace 2-0. This next game could also be game of the weekend. It is 2 undefeated sides. It is Brighton versus Forest. Brighton drew 0-0 to Ipswich. You know what? Not a great result for Brighton, but at least they are still unbeaten. You know what? They've had a fantastic start. Their new manager, 31 years old, he's probably younger than most of the Brighton players, and the fact he's got him playing the way he wants to play just shows you how good of a manager he is. And you Brighton fans can have a very exciting future with the way you're playing right now, okay? Forest are also unbeaten. They beat Liverpool 1-0. Fantastic result, by the way. Nuno Santos, their manager, he is proving to be a success. He's not the best manager in the world, but obviously Forest, he is working his magic at that club. So yeah, so fair play to Forest right there, beating Liverpool, and they are still one of the 4 teams to be undefeated. So just on that, I got this game to end as a very exciting draw. I've got this game, guys, to end as a 2-2 draw. Our last game of this game week 5, it is the biggest game of them all. It is Man City versus Arsenal. First versus second, the title contenders, okay? So Man City are the only side to win all 4 games so far this season, okay? Haaland banging in the goals. Yeah, again, he's got 9 goals, guys, in the first 4 games of the Premier League, okay? So, to me, that is the difference between these 2 sides right there, okay? They've got, one team has a goal scorer, the other side, you know, don't really have a goal scorer, but they do make it work. So listen, so yeah, so Haaland 9 goals this season in 4 games. He is the key player for them, you know, this match. So yeah, he is such an animal. He's such an animal, okay? And yeah, Man City have won all 4 of their games, and that is all you can say about that. And they are surely favourites going in to this game. So like I just said, guys, Haaland could be the game difference between these 2 sides, okay? But Arsenal do make it work with different goal scorers, okay? Obviously, if you get Sterling scoring goals, they've got Havertz, they've got Odegaard, but he might be injured for this game. So if he's injured for this game, that'll be a massive, massive loss. Their captain, their playmaker, is going to be out due to an ankle injury sustained in international duty. So you know what? Yeah, that'll be a big loss. But if Arsenal can put pressure on Man City, that is the only way you can beat Man City. Pressure, 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 but obviously Man City found ways to do it. So yeah, this game will be a very exciting game, but I only have it going one way. That is why I've got Man City to beat Arsenal, a fairly decent 3-1. And there we have it, guys. That is my game week 5 predictions. If you agree with any of my decisions, let me know down below in the comments. And game week 5, here we come. The biggest match of them all, Man City versus Arsenal. Who will win? Let me know down below in the comments. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you next week for a brand new one. So good and good night.